Tell us more.
I mean, they're investigating the same stuff that the Twitter detectives in Philadelphia are investigating, phone numbers and accounts, and it seems to be pointing to his wife. And then you have a decision to make. And this is really, if that ends up being the case, it's really just a sad situation. Like, Bryan's a good man, he's a good GM, and this is just a crazy situation. But you do have you could argue, well, if he didn't know about it, is he really culpable? But then the other argument is, look, he's the boss. The buck kind of stops there. The information flow starts there. It's a really difficult situation.
So, for those who are just waking up and have not yet heard the story, let's underline that. There is now a belief that it may have been his wife who had the burner accounts.
And I think he has privately acknowledged that. That's what sources are telling Woj, and sources are telling me that he has privately acknowledged that that is possible. Not that this is definitive, but that is possible.
Jalen?
So Woj and Zach Lowe are highly trained professionals. They're really disciplined. I'm unprofessional and irresponsible. So I'm just going to say this. He's not going to keep his job. There's no way after these allegations that Colangelo is going to keep this job. And by the way, I love his father, Jerry Colangelo. I consider him actually one of my mentors, who's one of the Yodas of the NBA, one of the all-time greats at decision-making, building teams, and also what he does for USA Basketball. When you have a player, Joel Embiid, you can go look at his feed right now. He actually trolled Bryan Colangelo by saying, I'm paraphrasing, Sam Hinkie's a better GM than you and a better decision maker. He's already tweeted this after these allegations have come out. And by the way, you should not be allowed to come to basketball games when you trade the opportunity to draft Jason Tatum to take Markelle Fultz. Y'all play each other in the playoffs. Jason Tatum scores over 20 points per game. Markelle Fultz gets DMPs, okay? So we talk so much about the process, and Hinkie did a terrific job of taking Joel Embiid and Saric, and Colangelo, he jumped on it, and he took Ben Simmons, a can't-miss prospect. But ultimately, I don't think he survives this.
I don't either. And again, these are two separate things. Draft mistakes, those happen all the time. If it does indeed turn out that this was his wife, is it reasonable to you to fire him for that?
Yes, I absolutely believe so, because I think already the relationship is fractured. And so whatever she's tweeting has to be in some vein of what she has heard from her husband, if you ask me. And Colangelo did say, I've never posted on social media. That is one thing he said. He never denied knowledge of knowing that there were any other burner accounts. So maybe he is not lying, but at the same time, I just don't see how you fix the relationship and trust.
Loose lips is never a good thing. And when you're coming on a summer free agency and you have a lot of these big-time players that want to be part of the process, there's a trust that goes along with that. I completely, recognize what Jalen is saying. I've known Jerry for a very long time. I've known Bryan my days trying out back in Toronto and spending time with USA Basketball. He's a great man. But just like any other business, when there's a liability, you have to let the liability go.
I would say this. If it does turn out that it was her, and it had just been sort of like emotional defenses of Bryan Colangelo. This is a good decision. I think you can survive that. It's the confidential medical and behind-the-scenes information of the players that turns it into a different situation that is just much harder to parse if you're a Sixers guy.
It's like Billions. It's like Chuck and Wendy Rhodes. You can't share confidentiality,
Never seen that show in my life.
And Adam
You've never seen that show?
Never seen that show.
You've never seen Billions?
Let's not get sidetracked by that.
Come on.